Hello, friends, and welcome back to AVGL. We've got some more college action coming at you here. Rochester Institute of Technology versus UMass Boston Beacons. They are the Boston Beacons. I'm Ziori, he's Jenkins, and we are here together to bring you the coverage today of this great matchup. Jenkins, what's the good word?
Well, the good word is we have Lichen banned, so we're not going to see a wolf in this game. And we have Omni Knight banned, so we're not going to see Omni, which is, I've not been feeling too good about Omni lately. Have you?
He can feel a little slow to come online in some games. You know, it's a very niche situation where you see that, oh my God, the GA type moment, and you can play around him, right? I guess that's what I'm using a lot of words to say. Still a really powerful hero in the right context and very annoying to lane against, right? A lot of 1v1 matchups where you kind of can't really beat him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The degen aura, it's pretty obnoxious.
I mean, I feel like he's been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed to the point of being. I mean, you could bait it, leave it in.
Okay.
I mean, it is the first ban, but it's pretty typical bans. I just think that the meta gets to a certain point that you see these heroes get banned, and maybe it's time to start baiting them, But then again, that's just my opinion. This is purely from pubs, from playing pubs.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Of course, we're talking about teams like this, UMass versus Rochester Institute of Technology. RIT is what we're going to be calling them for short. We don't know exactly what the skill level of these individual players are, right? With some of these college teams, often you'll have an all-star or one or two players that are really, really good, and you might have one or two players that are maybe a little more casual, or they play Dota because they're playing in this because they want to be part of their esports club, not necessarily because they are top-tier Dota players as a game in particular.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
You always have to take that with a grain of salt, and I think because of that, with the picks, you'll see a little more of that variation outside of just the standard meta, but you'll see some teams gravitate towards comfort picks or heroes that they really like.
That's 100% true, actually. In the last series, we casted Cornell versus McMaster, and Lukey was one of the players. He's actually good by objective standards. He's like a rank 100 and something player, so he's really good. He's a player that I've played with a lot in pubs. They picked him Abaddon, and they lost game 1 and then won game 2, game 3 by picking literally first phasing Abaddon. So yeah, I think you're 100% right. We'll see a lot of comfort picks coming out. Although with these picks, I mean, these are very good heroes, and it's likely that a lot of these players are playing these heroes in pubs because they are the scourge of pubs. We've been pubbing lately. We've seen a lot of these heroes. Maybe not so much the Naga because it's kind of hard to execute, but the SF, the Tuskar, the Naga, like these are just fairly common picks.
Yeah. Tusk Shadow Fiend. So we've seen like Clockwork Shadow Fiend, I think be the meta opener, so you can start with those extra souls and stuff. But Tusk is one of those great supports, a lot of aggressive potential, also a lot of defensive potential. Very versatile in that regard.
Yeah.
And here's another popular pick, the Gyrocopter.
I hate this hero, dude.
Where did he come from? He came out of nowhere.
I'm so sick of this hero. Oh, this is the bane of offlaners, man.
Yeah.
This hero, it's like, I'm going to rocket you, so you better run away. Oh, look out. You run away from the creep wave, I'm going to rocket barrage you for 250,000 damage.
Yeah, the homing missile used to feel like kind of a joke spell, and now it is such a key part of the Gyrocopter arsenal, where there's this guaranteed stun, and you know it's coming, so in some ways you feel like, hey, we should be able to deal with this, but it's usually not effective to auto-attack it down unless you're in a really specific scenario.
It's 3 hits. It's 3 hits, so it's like it's you can't do it alone.
Yeah, and it's just it's a weird. He's in a weird spot right now. He's like the new age Luna for me. He's got so much magical damage early on.
Yeah.
It allows him to transition into the mid game to do big.
Right. Yeah, he can also
damage.
scale with the physical damage.
Yeah.
And the thing is also in the laning phase with that physical damage, you can go for the flat cannon really early if the offlaner ditches the lane, and you can get a huge amount of farm, just like a Luna could go for Glaives. Although that wouldn't happen too much, but with Gyro, you're really relatively unpunished for doing that because really the Q and the rocket, I mean, you need some points in those, but typically just for laning. If the offlaner completely ditches, you can get total free farm and farm faster than almost any carry with the flat cannon. So it's this weird conundrum of like, if you lane against me, I'll kill you, but if you leave, I'll farm as well. Like, are you serious, dude? It's so hard to deal with as an offlaner. It's almost like you have to fight into this hero when he's level 1 because that's kind of when he's weakest. It's just when because that Rocket Barrage doesn't do all that much damage at level 1. It got nerfed patches and patches ago. But since then, really, when he gets to level 3 and level 4, or level 3 and level 5. When he's got the level 3 point in the Rocket Barrage, that's when he really starts doing the crazy amount of magical damage. And he can't get to that point in the safe lane these days.
And that's part of what makes him so versatile, because there are some carries that really don't do as well in tri-lanes, right?
Yeah.
And Gyrocopter is totally, you want to tri-lane into me? Great,
Man, that
let's
rocket,
do it.
it's just so good. Like, you rocket somebody, they run away from the creep.
And,
or what are you going to do, run up to a Gyro when he rockets you? He'll kill you.
And he pairs pretty nicely with the Naga for that reason, right? We've seen it very likely to be a support in this scenario, and the Ensnare is just, it's stupidly good with Rocket Barrage. And now Rubik going to be picked up. Nice to have against the Naga, some pretty good spells to steal. I guess pretty good against Gyro as well, somebody who can stop him, prevent that Rocket Barrage from chasing people down in the laning phase. Also a support that pairs pretty nicely with the Tusk, right? You've got two forms of Disable roaming together. They can do a lot to set up kills.
You can lift somebody over the ice shards too, put them back in.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah,
just a good combo.
Triple Ray setup with the Shadow Fiend too. These are really good supports. The thing is, I would be concerned about these guys picking these heroes if they didn't have damage in their other core, but with the SF they've got a lot of damage, and Warlock pick coming out actually against a Rubik, that's a little ballsy, but maybe like what you're saying, maybe that's a comfort pick.
Well, so we've seen the Naga build really be centered around the Meteor Hammer now. It's finally been tweaked enough that it's not a complete joke item, and it does kind of fit what Naga wants to do. With the ultimate, you can pretty much get a guaranteed Meteor Hammer as long as you time it right. So Warlock and Gyrocopter fit into that. You've got cooldowns, you've got flat cannon, now you've got the giant golem on top of that. This looks like the beginning of the overused Wombo combo draft for UMass. But as we've seen many a time in the past, if you have that team fight on paper, that's cool, but sometimes a little bit easier said than done to execute and actually get a 5-hero song or a 4-hero golem.
Yeah.
Conceptually, fatal bonds and all this shit going on at once is really awesome, but the other team has to be grouped up to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's exactly what I was going to say. You can kind of play the split push game if you're playing against something like this. Wait until you have those BKBs, wait until you have those core items, and then you can fight into them when you have better farm. Because these heroes, they do want to group up. They do. I mean, sure, Gyro can farm, but really where this hero is amazing is when you fight early. Same with Naga, same with Warlock. So if they play the split push game, although it looks like they're just going pretty hard committal to fighting back into the Gyrocopter Naga Siren.
So
Warlock.
Remind me on the mechanic. Brewlings, are they put to sleep by the Naga song?
The Brewlings, except for the Earth Panda.
Okay, so the Earth Panda is actually immune to the song.
Yeah,
he'll still move around. All right,
yep.
Brewmaster does have a little bit of maybe extra prowess against the Naga, but I feel like that hero is often underestimated right now. Like, he is so annoying in the early mid game. Yeah, Brew.
Yeah.
He's really strong, and he's a hero that you don't think of as, man, we got to shut down that Brewmaster. He's going to be hard to deal with. But if you don't, and he just keeps using that ultimate to kill people or get objectives or return ganks or what have you, he becomes a big nuisance.
Yeah, the ultimate is just so ridiculous for team fighting. That's actually something we were talking about, Mont and I, during the last series that we casted in AVGL, and basically we were talking about how the Brewmaster, he can get completely shut down in the lane, and presumably he will, because this Naga Gyro Warlock lane. But you still have that team fighting prowess. You're still such a nuisance. Every single ulti, you basically take a fight and almost always win. It's very hard to lose a team fight with the Brewmaster ulti just because it does so much. You throw somebody up, basically permanently disable somebody. You do a ton of damage. You can do tower damage. You offer other sorts of disables. You have the Dispel. You basically are just like 3 heroes when you use that ulti, and it's very hard to lose with 3 extra heroes. So yeah, it's going to be really nice to for them to take fights with this hero. Although they are fighting into some pretty hefty wombo combo, but they can throw the Death Prophet up in the air. That's a pretty nice hero to throw up in the air. Just walk away from the exorcism and fight somewhere else.
I mean, I see the logic behind the DP pick here. Fits very nicely with the team fight from UMass. It's another really good sustainable laner. Doesn't have a lot of counters, and now
that's a classic.
The cherry on top, the Faceless Void for some extra control. They needed an off laner that could kind of stand his own, and we'll see what he can do. Right into the OD though, so I guess mid Shadow Fiend, safe lane OD, and then the off lane Brewmaster for RIT.
So OD is going to destroy a Faceless Void. One of the things about this Void hero is that you just leap away, when you're taking damage in the laning phase, and you're like, haha, I took no damage because I have a Q ability. But with the OD doesn't care. He wants to steal as many stacks as possible, and from the Void, it's just so easy to do that in the laning phase. He's basically gonna just have a free lane against this Faceless Void. But once again, we have a Brewmaster versus a Gyro Naga Warlock. That is no slouch of a lane. That is a deadly, deadly lane. Brew's going to have a rough game, but we talked about it during the draft. He's the type of hero that he doesn't he doesn't really care. He's kind of like a Tide Hunter. Eventually, he'll get to that level 6. Eventually, he'll come online. He's never going to be truly useless. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I want to see the other heroes here because I was kind of... Oh, right. The mid lane. The mid lane is where I'm kind of... I'm worried for the Death Prophet. The Tusk SF is a ridiculously deadly combo. It's very, very hard to play against that, especially with some hero that cannot get across the ice shards. You just triple raise on the shards. It's like a guaranteed triple raise. And like you're saying, it's not the Clock SF, but it's just about as good. A lot of teams are even favoring it over the Clock SF these days.
Oops.
Oh well, you can look at mine.
Yep.
Here
All
we
right.
are.
So we are getting things started here. It's going to be the RIT Tigers. It's interesting to see these college teams have like actual team names.
Yeah.
It wasn't included on the drafting phase. As we saw the UMass, they are the Boston Beacons. So we've got the Tigers versus the Beacons here in this first match, Jenkins.
Yeah, they're very like college-esque names, except a little bit more memey. Some of them are pretty memey.
It's true. So I'm just going to get resynced here.
It's Brew against a tri-lane of Warlock. Yep, basically exactly what we expected. It's Brew against this tri-lane of... Oh, wow, he is very ballsy going up this far against this Gyro tri-lane with Naga. Naga has the Riptide. They could potentially kill him here. Body blocks coming in from the Naga Siren. The Gyro's just using his... Oh, my God. There's nothing he can do to really survive that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, just a little bit too aggressive positioning to get things started in that early phase. I mean, how significant is First Blood, though? I guess. Like, it feels like we talk about it a lot, but it doesn't actually matter all that much in the grand scheme of the game.
I mean, as an offlaner, the reason that you don't necessarily want to give First Blood like that is, well, it's worse when the laning phase actually starts. If it's before the game, he can't cut the creep wave now. That's pretty annoying. So that's going to give the support some levels. If the supports get some levels, he can't enter the lane. Gyro can get free from. The supports can leave the lane. So it's pretty bad, but if it's right at the start, it's exactly what you're saying. It's honestly not that big of a deal. It's just
recoverable.
It's a little bit of it's recoverable. It's a little bit of extra gold. But if you give First Blood and it's kind of the laning phase has started or you're way behind the tower, like if you have to take 10 to 30 seconds or whatever to recover from that, get back to the lane and walk back to the lane or something, it can really, really hurt. But in this case, in the laning phase started, he's just back up here, leeching XP.
So in the mid lane for UMass, looks like they are going to have two heroes to put some pressure on the Shadow Fiend. Always so important to pressure the Shadow Fiend in these early levels before he has the souls built up, because there's just not much he can do to, recover, so to speak, when he just can't sit in the lane like this. Deluxe on the Naga Siren, rotating in to go for that Riptide level 1. No big surprise there. It's an incredible level 1 spell, big damage.
Oh, is it ever?
Plus that armor reduction helps things out a lot.
And then Naga has 6 armor too, so trading with the Naga who's Riptided you is almost impossible.
Right. And for RIT, they've got 3 heroes focused on the bottom, so they're putting a lot of pressure on making sure Bonsai on the Faceless Void will not be able to even sit in XP range. He's gotten a little bit, but it's a tough lane for him.
This is an interesting choice because I do feel like the Tuskar is going to struggle to be able to gank the Void because he can just leap out of the shards. Rubik can't really, if you lift him and pull him back, he's just going to leap, right? And I think the OD, I think they're giving a couple levels, but on the mid lane we have just duking it out.
Yeah, my boy Doggy rotating in. He drops some ice shards, and this is going to make it a 2v2 in the mid lane. Let's check out up top. Brewmaster, even though he did take that tumble, he's getting experience. Only found one last hit, but with Brew, there's a degree to which you just really want to get to level 6 kind of as quickly as possible. A little bit of that clockwork feel in a lot of ways.
He's doing a lot of work harassing these supports. This is kind of one of the unfortunate things. Actually, as Naga gets gone on the middle lane, that's a double raise coming out.
And it's probably going to be a kill. One more auto attack. No, the Shadow Fiend can't quite
find
it.
Gets it
Doggy
with the
wants to pursue, and he is going to find it. Very nice. Well done by the Tusk, knowing his limits, but now burning the fake on UMB. He's going to use the Spirit Siphon, push back the Tusk, and that'll be the end of this little exchange here in the mid. Looks like a rotation, though, from the Rubik. He is hasted up. My boy Ritz looking for maybe a courier snipe.
It's coming.
He's got the right idea. There is a bottle on this courier. Let's see how patient will he be. Perhaps not patient enough. As we're looking at that, though, up top, Brew is going to get brought down. Sorry about that, folks. This courier snipe mid, though.
Is he going for it? He's going to go for it on the way back because he is going to be able to see it. So
okay.
So he sees it going to Death Prophet. He's going to wait for it.
Rubik, can you do this? Ritz needs to go, but they've actually doubled it back. Looks like they're suspicious. The Rubik gets pinged by the Dire.
Oh, he's standing in tower vision?
He must have been, or maybe the courier saw him up top, though. Gyrocopter, he's going to be initiated on. Looks like it's going to be a 2-for, maybe even a 2-for-1. A double kill for Doggy on the Tusk, but Panda does manage to bring down the actual Panda, which is the Brewmaster. So a little bit of chaos up there in the top lane.
Damn, that Tusk rotation. This is not the lane that I would see. That I would see the Tigers being able to win. I mean, that's crazy. Just the level 2 clap kind of surprising them there. And look, he smoked. The Panda smoked to get back to the lane. That's such a pub strat.
I mean, it's not the worst idea though. You get that movement speed. Rocket gonna push back Tusk, and
he bought a Windlace too. He's just trying to get back to that XP range. I guess that he's just saying screw what I said earlier, where it can really hurt you if you die and you have to walk back the lane.
He doubled down. He just got the smoke, and he's gonna cruise.
He doubled down. Oh, it looks like he's actually gonna look to go for a kill maybe with this. Never mind. No, it's running out.
Faceless Void, though, still really struggling here, Jenkins. Only 4 last hits as the off-laner down bottom. I guess him and Brew in a similar state. He hasn't died, but Void, much more farm-reliant than the Brewmaster to have a big impact.
Yeah, this is kind of expected. I mean, when you pick one of these OD safe lane, there's very few heroes that can actually deal with this effectively, especially if the supports, like we saw, sit and help him for the first few levels. Really, the only point where OD is weak is kind of that hump that he has to get over. There's kind of 2 humps. There's one where he just has that astral. He doesn't have his stat steal, which is kind of the most annoying part of that hero. You get that online, all of a sudden it's very hard to lane, and then he's got that other hump where kind of he needs to get some items to be useful in the mid game. So he's kind of past that first hump, so he can lane very easily against this Void. If Rubik is down here, it's just because Rubik wants the XP. He wants to pull. So this is kind of a, Rubik is just playing for his own game right now.
Mid lane. Whoa, Naga might get brought down again. Shards connect, snowball in, and Doggy's going to be there for another. This Tusk is now dominating.
Dude, he's 4-0. He has every kill. He has every kill.
He is absolutely destroying this mid lane right now.
He got a bottle. Because it looks like SF isn't going to pick up a bottle. Tusk is just going to roam around and pick up the runes. I really like this pickup from him, actually.
So exciting to see a Tusk have a start like this. It's one of those heroes that can really do a lot when he gets that early momentum. Down bottom, Bonsai. That's going to be a kill on the Void.
Wow.
Wow, surprised that the Rubik and OD had enough damage, but one time walk not going to be enough. Now in the top lane, Brewmaster in some trouble. Rocket Barrage intercepted by some creeps, but tasty balls on the Gyrocopter. Not going to be able to find that kill. Looks like a wraparound up top maybe, though. They're going to go for the Brewmaster. It's like Naga's going to hit him with the ensnare, and the Rocket will indeed fit. Look at this build. It's a 1-3-1 on the Gyro. It's a max homing missile build.
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw
big damage
around the start of the patch. That was kind of, but it kind of fell off. People were like, you know what, this is a very value ability at level 1, but he's opting to go for it. I mean, it's gotten him a couple of kills at this point, so seemingly pretty good. I imagine he's probably not going to level up the Rocket Barrage because once you're out of the laning phase, you kind of want the flat cannon to start farming, to start actually being kind of a hard carry. So yeah, I mean it's definitely pretty good. I think for laning, choosing between the homing missile and the Rocket Barrage is definitely good.
Yeah, looks like a little battle over the rune. Void gonna be able to pick it up. I really like this trend now of making OD more of like a safe lane hero. He definitely can fit the role in the mid lane, but he just needs so much space that putting him safe lane just feels, well, by definition, a lot more safe, right? It gives him that guaranteed space. And the hero is still very intimidating if he gets that kind of start. I mean, you can see the level 6 OD versus the level 3 Void.
Oh, there's nothing he can do.
You literally can't. I mean, you can't trade with this guy. And every auto attack you do, it's more int going the way of the Outworld Devourer.
Yep, and he's got level 2 in the Arcane Orb now, too, which doubles the int steal, which is kind of a crazy thing. That's why people kind of go for the value. Second point in that, instead of going for the ulti or anything like that, just because, you hit somebody half as much, and you take the same int from them. It's so hard to lane. Especially with a hero like Void, who has such a low mana pool. If he's not careful, it's going to drain his entire mana pool.
Yeah,
he can
he's
actually
got
die.
200 mana right now. Void taking some damage, but he doesn't make it back.
183 mana.
Meanwhile, up top, Brewmaster getting initiated on, but the Tusk is there. Drop some Ice Shards. I don't think they'll have the damage to find a counter kill. Yeah, this Gyro. He's just tanky on top of that. He's got the Aquila. Not an easy target to bring down, and now drums completed.
Full drums. Ooh, that's the mop build. He loves these drums on the Gyro.
Oh, yeah, dude. Drum Gyro. It's good, though. It feels very strong.
Oh, it's definitely good. It's definitely good. Do you remember Zizzy? Zizzy?
I do. He, South American player that played on...
he's Mexican.
Mexican. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
He explained something to me about the Gyro. He's when Complexity went to TI, when he was on it, he played the Gyro a lot and actually has a lot of
Burning actually going to be initiated on. Looks like this is going to be a dead
man,
DP.
the steal, though.
Surviving for so long, and DP's actually going to live through this.
God.
There was a kill down bottom as that happened. Looks like the Warlock died, but I can't believe that DP lived. That was a straight-up 3-on-1.
Spirit Siphon OP, man. Good God.
I mean, when you have like 3
What a
charges
spell.
of it all rolling at once, it does do a lot of
I've
healing,
actually
but-
seen that happen quite a lot, where the
Wow.
DP gets ganked in the middle lane, and then she just siphons whoever's ganking her. That's why people say that DP's good against Spirit Breaker, because he's got such a high HP pool. You just siphon the Spirit Breaker and whoever the mid laner is, and all of a sudden you're just healing for like
That's
50
true.
HPS or something like that. It's like an Enchantress heal almost.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's definitely a very sustainable mid laner, as we just saw there. But
Yeah.
now OD in great shape. As we mentioned down bottom, that Warlock was killed, so now he's going to be moving towards his Hurricane Pike
Oh, just picked up a free kill on the Warlock.
and some drums on top of that. So
Right.
pretty standard kit.
Yeah.
Actually farming behind the Gyrocopter right now, though. Not by much, but old Tasty Balls up here. They killed that Brewmaster once, and he's really farming well also.
Yeah, Tasty Balls is really he's doing a good job of being very active, like taking a lot of fights. I mean, he's kind of farmed because of the kills. OD. I mean, actually, OD's getting kills as well.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot of chaos in these freaking safe lanes, man.
I do think it really does benefit RIT, though, knowing that both offlaners are really struggling. As soon as Brewmaster hits 6, he's going to leave this lane, and they're going to start trying to make objectives happen. Void not quite going to have that same luxury. Sure, he can drop
he's
a
in the
chrono.
jungle. He's
Yeah.
going for a Midas. Void's going for a Midas.
A recovery Midas.
Oof.
Oh, my.
That's a rough life for
I mean,
Void.
that's what Brewmaster's designed to do, though. Fight around his ultimate. Void is a little bit more of a...
He needs items.
Yeah, a carry first, awesome ultimate second.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
picking
I
Void
agree.
just for the ultimate, there are kind of better heroes to do that.
Although they do have the combo of the Gyro and the Death Prophet this game.
Very true.
I do definitely agree in most games, but in this game it's actually not bad as they're diving the Brewmaster.
Yep, he gets off
Tusk
the
is trying to.
split.
Oh, he's the split. Okay,
Yep.
that's easy.
But still, a
Force-
defensive split is definitely bad for the Brew. Let's see if they can
But
find some
OD's
kills
here.
out of it. Fluffy Panda taking a lot of damage. Brew's going to chase him down on the backside. OD doing a lot of damage to Tasty Balls, and
God.
it is a twofer. It's a great first Brew split. Not only do they get the kills, but they stop the gank all together. All 5 of RIT now grouped up, trying to chase down this Naga, and that's going to be a raise for the kill. Shadow Fiend now level 9, going for the Yule's Scepter, feeling very happy as RIT takes control.
Just excellent baiting by the Brew using that split, and then the whole team TPing in. We've talked a lot about this OD having kind of a hump, but kind of weird because I feel like in the safe lane it's very hard to gank into that safe lane when there's supports down there, you know. So I feel like that kind of hump that we always talk about with OD, it's minimized a lot by putting him in the safe lane. Like
Yeah.
we see him being very active right now, and he did so much damage in that fight. I mean, was there a hump in this game at all?
Not really. He got over it pretty quick. Up top, RIT's going to be initiated on with some calldowns. Tasty Ball's going to pursue, and this rocket might actually be enough for the kill. There's that rocket barrage and snare combo that we've seen. Eradicate still doing a lot of damage as now Doggy rotates in, biffs the shards
no.
a little bit. Still trying to chase down this Gyro, but it's no easy proposition. He does have phase boots now to go with the drums. He is committed, however. Doggy getting close to the rocket, uses the Walrus Punch on Fluffy Panda, and now 2 right clicks from Eradicate secure his killing spree. They see 2 heroes, and they go to the left. It's Deluxe blocked out as now they get a double for the OD. It's a disaster in the top lane for UMass, and now this is starting to get a little out of control. The one benefit is that burning Fake on the Death Prophet did get a tier 1 tower down bottom while all that was happening, so small gains for UMass, but as you mentioned a couple times now, this OD is really starting to pull
Void's
ahead.
getting active.
He
Void
does
has chrono.
have a chrono.
Oh,
He's
but-
level 6. He's going to drop it onto Doggy.
Oh, he's
This
just
is
going
the
for the
Tusk.
Tusk.
Are they even going to have the damage, though? Gyro gets blocked out by it. He gets into Snowball, and now the turn the other way. Void in big trouble. He doesn't have a time walk, and Eradicate just kills him. Now Tasty Balls out of mana. Might still be able to get away.
Dude,
Drum's gonna
Eradicate
be on
has
cooldown, but no, the
58.
hammer. Oh, the Sanity's Eclipse
Oh
finds the
my
kill.
God.
And Jenkins, as all that happened, the tier 1 tower mid fell in favor of the Shadow Fiend. Things crumbling so quickly for UMass.
This OD is doing so much work. Okay, I was going to say, I've never seen an OD at 11 minutes steal 40 int in a fight. He was up to 58 by the end of that fight. Like, that is so much damage coming from that ultimate. Because if you look at the way it scales, it's 8, 9, and then 10. It actually doesn't scale that great. So
Yeah.
it's actually going to do a lot of damage at this point compared to a very late game Sanity's Eclipse. With the int difference with the Gyro, he probably could have one-hit the Gyro with 48 int stolen.
Yeah, it's actually kind of insane. They are not doing a good job playing around the OD on UMass in that regard. Sort of like you're saying, you need to reset the fight and let some of that int disappear. Those long engagements where he's just getting right click after right click on many different heroes. it gives him such a benefit. There's just no counter to it. Now Doggy going to be in some trouble. He's trying to run away, but this DP is chasing him down. The snowball reset. They kill the Naga, and now OD,
they can kill him.
He's ready to go ham. A couple more right clicks. They might be able to bring down the Death Prophet, but no, it's the Void that they want. Bonsai with a time lapse across. Will survive for now. This DP wants to use this ulti aggressively. She's got some drums for herself, but can't even think about pushing right now with an OD and a Shadow Fiend in her lane.
Jeez, I mean, this OD is just such a problem. He's just okay. Actually, he doesn't have that much in stolen, but he's so tanky.
And he's got a Force Staff.
He has a Force Staff.
So not only can he get away, but he can initiate. He's going to chase him down. He could even use it for a kill right here. Snowball in. Gyro's down. Now the real fake dragon. Still 30 seconds on Chrono, but Song of the Siren will reset this fight. UMass Boston going to have an opportunity to try to make a play, but no, they'll have to retreat. It's a purely defensive song, and they do keep their teammates alive, but a 5K net worth lead at 14 minutes, still all RIT.
God, this is always the easiest game as a mid laner when you're like crushing yourself and having a good game. And you have an OD running around killing everybody already. It's like, oh nice, I don't need to be a mid laner. Like this SF can just farm.
Look at this, it's Doggy from the backside. SF channels the ultimate. Now a TP in from the Warlock. He drops the ult. Fatal bonds onto SF falls. Tusk looking for the TP home. 1 second, it's going to be close, and he will make it. So a recovery kill for UMass. That helps. But they're going to need a few more of those to really turn this thing around.
Yeah, man, the Void really needs to... a lot of this game is going to be on the Void now. Because they do have the damage between the Exorcism and between all of the gyro abilities to kill people. But if they don't kill the OD, he's so strong at this point that he'll kill them all. If they don't kill the SF, he's so strong at this point that he'll kill them all. So that puts all of this pressure on the Void as an offlaner who's already not having a very good game. I mean, he's having a really, really rough time in this game. He is the second to last net worth. His Warlock has more gold than he does. And but the pressure is really on him to hit Chrono on 2 key targets. Maybe even the Brew before the split +1.
Oh, well, this is a decent Chrono. Does
that's
connect
pretty
on
good.
2, but where's the follow-up damage? Tusk on the outside. They just turn and destroy the Bonsai. Now the pursuit has been engaged. Banish on top of the DP. There is no Brew split right now. Out of mana, but they're not even going to need it. This is turning into a slaughter here, Jenkins.
God.
2 cores down for UMass, just like that.
If you're in a pub and you're on the side of this Gyro Warlock DP, what's the play? What's the play for you? Is it just Hail Mary smokes?
I think at this point, #1 priority is slow down the OD. I think I'm thinking, guys, we've got a lot of really good team fight, and the priority needs to be, let's do a 5-man smoke. They won't expect it. We need to kill this OD, and maybe we can get one more. But you wait for all your cooldowns. You do the Chrono with the Rock on top, with the call down, with the DP silence. She hasn't even skilled up silence yet. I think that's a big mistake.
I think that's pretty important for following up the Chrono.
Yeah, I think this is a game where you need one early point in silence just so you can kind of take these team fights, especially against the Brewmaster, right?
Yeah.
Silence is the way to counter this hero outside of Chrono.
Yep, and even the OD Astral. I mean, OD can Astral the Brew.
Yeah.
The OD silence. It's an AoE silence.
And look at it. I mean, OD is just having an absolute field day.
He's just totally on his own.
3 shots these heroes. The Naga also died in the back line to Doggy there. But, yeah, OD just kind of soloing the world. That's your only option. Like, right now, this team, their only way to come back is to do that choreography of ultimates. And especially when you're behind, it feels impossible. But I think that is literally the only step. You know, you have to find a way to coordinate the Chrono, the Rock, and the Exorcism all on top of each other.
Yeah, they need stun duration with damage throughout, basically. And I think that's why they need the silence to increase that duration, because OD's got enough items and stats at this point.
Oh, Shadow Fiend channels the ultimate, does connect on a few. UMB so defensive right now. Song of the Siren. This could be the big setup, but he does it just a little too far back. They pretty much only catch the Tusk, and the split for RIT is too big, and the turn is Eradicate. Just obliterates them. Gyro, Void, Naga, Warlock, they're all down, and this has got to be guaranteed barracks, at least in this lane. Maybe the game doesn't end here, as there are still towers standing in the side lanes. There's a little split push happening.
Burning's pushing.
DP, I mean, it's something, right? You're not going to win this fight, so at least you can take a tower, put some pressure on.
He does have a siege creep too, so
it's the right idea.
It'll be damage, but oh god, it's.
Luckily, they don't push that fast, right? That is one thing OD does not do well.
Right. Same with the SF with his magic blade.
Yep. But Naga just going to suicide her life to try to buy a little more time. Meanwhile, in the bottom, Ritz and Burning going at it. And Ritz might actually have suicided himself. The Silence doing a lot of work, but the Spirit Siphon is just too much. One more auto attack, and Burning will get himself a kill. Meanwhile, on the other way, they kill the Brewmaster. It's actually a decent hold. UMB with the split. Hang on to one barracks. They do find a kill on the Brewmaster, as mentioned, but it looks like everyone else will be able to disengage. The DP has TP'd home. Not exactly a hold, but we'll take it. I mean, it's a ranged barracks still standing. They got a kill and put a little pressure on that tier 3. They found some positives despite that nasty team fight there in the mid.
Yeah, and if you have Gyro DP faces Void, like these heroes are no slouches in the late game. They actually could very easily. Well, I don't want to say very easily. Good God, OD is not an easy hero to win against.
I mean, look at this. Literal 3-shot on the Warlock. Okay, I lied. It's a 4-shot. But still, is Eradicate going to throw it away? That's Silence coming in the clutch.
They killed him. That's a 10 times godlike spree.
That's it right there. And now on the other side, they will lose this poor Naga Siren. It's a pretty chaotic fight, but this is pretty big for UMass. Even if they lose a little bit more here, Silence on the Brew doing a lot of work. He doesn't have a split, and I don't know if he survives this one. Blink Dagger up in 1, but they get off the Spirit Siphon. Now he's on the run. The Crypt Swarm is there, and they will find that last auto attack. So a couple big kills for UMass, definitely showing a sign of life. Jenkins, is it just a coincidence that once they skilled up Silence, they started winning team fights? Because I'm not entirely sure it's a coincidence.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that against these heroes, the Silence is
pretty primo,
pretty broken. I mean, especially when you have setup for it in the Chronosphere. I think that it's. However, you know, I can see the argument. It's like, okay, we're losing. You know, I just want to farm. I want to hit creeps. I want to be tanky. I could understand the argument for going, because people typically consider the Crypt Swarm and Spirit Siphon max build to be the greediest type of build. So I could understand having the thought process of wanting to respond. Not that I would personally do that. I would definitely go for the Silence, because I think it's past the point of, okay, we're going to respond to this pressure by being greedy and just hoping that they throw.
Right.
I think that it's past that point, but I can understand the thought process behind, okay, they're pressuring us, we can't fight, I'm just going to be greedy, and that Void is having such an awful
This
game.
poor Void. I mean, honestly, that just makes me feel bad to watch. This is a position 4 Void, basically. The Warlock's out farming him. And that was at his shrine. OD catches him time walk, just blinks forward, and that's it. That's just a free kill on the Void.
Nothing.
Rubik shows up, and there's absolutely nothing. You look at his inventory.
OD doesn't give a single damn. Like, look at that. He's just walking uphill to the entire enemy team without anybody. They've run away from him.
Yep, no vision. And they know he could probably 1v3, especially when that ultimate is up. You've talked about that, the way it scales and that difference in intelligence, or intellect, rather. It's.
Did you know you can Hurricane Pike rockets?
I did not know
I just watched the OD
Although I did
Hurricane
know
Pike.
that you could force staff. I remember when they added that change.
Yeah.
Burning. He's going to go, oh my God, the hammer.
God.
Dude, he just one-hit the Void with the Sanity's Eclipse. Void wanted to chrono. He started to raise that little hand like, sir, would you mind if I no? And then he just died, full health.
I was going to say, I think that it doesn't matter that Void has this time walk ability, because OD just one-hits him after he does it anyway from full HP, and it just happened.
I mean, actually, completely.
Actual one-hit.
This Void just got straight up one hit. Now the DP's going to buy back.
Oh, my God.
I mean, UMass are hanging in there, but this is turning into a slaughter. 33-11 at 21 minutes.
They got to smoke for these setups, man.
They got to do something. Like, this is where you start pulling out anything you can to jump that OD. You can even see him. He's trying to wrap around in that mid lane and just poke the back line and be that nuisance, because he knows they don't quite have the tools.
He could chrono this. He could chrono this.
Oh, but Brew comes in. The Void, he hesitated. Uh-oh, there's the time walk back. Now the snowball forward. This Brew's trying to chase him down. Shards from the Tusk. Bonsai gets cut by Raze, and he'll fall. There's the ultimate from the Warlock. Kind of breaks things up, but there's just not enough follow-up damage. Burning now on the way in with the ultimate. They lose their Warlock. Eradicate just blowing in the right clicks. Right now, the Exorcism actually does decent damage, but they have no way to lock him in place. Burning uses his own Yule Scepter, buys him some time. Shadow Fiend thinking about channeling the Requiem on the high ground, but does cancel it. Meanwhile, on the backside, Doggy goes in basically to the well. He gets left behind, and he will be killed. A pretty sloppy engagement from RIT overall. They don't get the tier 3 that they were coming for, and they kind of just trade 1 for 2. Void did use a buyback in the mix, so still damage of the economic sort. But
and they used the DPLT. He still has chrono, though, and oh God,
True.
this OD. Oh, he chronoed him!
Okay, they chrono the OD.
He's got to be dead.
And I think this is actually going to be a kill. It's good setup, and DP will get credit. So again, the small sign of life. You look at the net worth gain, it's about 2,000 swings, 1,600 gain for UMass, but they're going to need, 10 more of those.
You see, no matter what, though, they still have this combo going for them.
That's true.
This chrono into silence into DP ulti, gyro ulti, and gyro's actually taking a nice little stack. You know, let's see, what's the? He's actually not doing too bad on net worth. It's just that this OD is such a problem.
The problem, really, it feels like, is that UMass Boston have 2 cores instead of 3. Right, they're top 2 farmers. They're behind, but they're within the realm. Right, Gyro and DP are still in the top 4, so that's good. Then you look at the Void, and he is playing on poverty level. And right now, like, you compare what has Void contributed to this game compared to what has the Brewmaster contributed to this game, and it is a world of difference. And it feels like that has really set the stage for a lot of these fights. Where
both of them kind of had bad lanes too.
Yeah, they did.
Hard lanes, I should say hard lanes.
Well, and both of them died in lane. You know, the Brewmaster, he was the first blood victim. You know, he was the one that had that rough start, but it's just so much easier to turn things around with this hero when you have that ultimate, because it completely breaks up fights and it lasts for so long. The chrono, you have to have something to stack on top of it. Because you know at level 8, Void is not doing the damage to get the solo kills.
Oh god, no, not with brown boots.
Yeah,
there's honestly 2 ways to play this hero as an offlaner. Way number 1, you pick it into a lane where it's basically a carry, and then, oh god, is he about to just die?
I think so. Hurricane Pike, no. Okay.
Okay, well, that's still 12 in.
Pretty close.
Pretty damn close. So 12 in. Not only that.
Dude, he doesn't even have the mana to chrono. Like, I mean, he does.
He can't leap
but
chrono. Well,
he can't leap chrono time dilate when OD does that full volley on him.
You know, on Pudge, you can't hook dismember if he hits you once.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You need something. You need some item. It's so frustrating. Same thing with Void. High mana cost, low mana pool. OD just crushes these heroes.
I remember those old school breakpoints with Juggernaut too, where you get that one stat so that you can Omni and spin at level 6 with all that in.
That's not a problem anymore. Tiny too. You do that with Tiny so you can toss Avalanche.
Exactly, and now they got rid of those little nuggets.
Yeah, because I mean that was kind of
dumb.
Kind of dumb. It's not fun. It's like, oh, I have to choose between 2 fun abilities to use. Oh, man, why would you skill both then?
Well, here we go. Bottom tier 2 falls. That is the end of the outer towers for UMass Boston. And now Rochester starting to tighten the noose around the neck of their opponents. This Brewmaster kind of jumps in, baits out the rocket. Not much chip damage going into the tier 3 tower, but now RIT will begin the slow siege. Rubik with the stall on a rocket.
Oh, that's a nice.
Gives Tasty Balls a taste of his own medicine, and now
Eradicate
jumps in, destroys the gyrocopter. The BKB from Eradicate will now get stopped as the chrono comes out. The Warlock Golem, but the stolen chrono. This Rubik is on point. Gyrocopter has bought back, used the BKB of his own. UMB doing an okay job hanging on to this, but the Requiem comes. They will bring down Eradicate, and Doggy as well, getting very low. Shadow Fiend is going to finish off Gyro with the Death Requiem, but he falls himself. It's another sloppy fight for RIT. They're trying to just force it in there, but it's not fitting, Jenkins.
Dota's really weird at this point, to be honest. Like, you kind of feel like you have to force it because it's like, dude, we have such an advantage right now. You know, can't we just end? Why aren't we just ending? And then it's like, because they have buybacks. Their fountain's so close that
they're going to
that's
catch
a
the Warlock here. So that's
poor boy.
Pretty easy one. I mean, they did force another buyback on Gyro. So again, economic damage. They're getting one step closer, but it's a testament to the Death Prophet, I think. Even at this point in the game, 15,000 net worth ahead, you take a great initiation like that. Even this beefy, overfarmed OD can't just stand in the exorcism and just tank it. Like, she still just cuts through them if she survives for more than 15 to 20 seconds in a team fight.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why the stolen chrono on the DP was so important. But unfortunately, there was just so much chaos going on that it didn't mean much. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right. They, no matter what happens, they still have this combo. The thing is, every time that this is happening, it is sloppy from the side of the Tigers, but they're using buybacks. Like, they can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Like, they're losing base. They're using buybacks.
It's economic damage.
It's economic damage that at some point it's going to be, you're not going to be able to recover from it.
Yeah, it'll be overwhelming and crippling. If we hit the old F5 and look at the inventories, you can start to see it. Brewmaster is actually going for Radiance, not an item you'll see on Brewmaster too often, but
it's pretty rare nowadays.
Speaks to how kind of far ahead they are, and how comfortable he is in this position.
I can
just
understand
going
it.
all mobility, dude. Look at that inventory.
Oh my God.
It's like mobility into Hex.
Yeah, the crazy thing is like you don't need any damage on this hero.
I know.
That's like I can't remember who I was talking to. This is ages ago, but they were saying like these carries that you literally don't need to build any damage. This is when Ursa was OP.
Yep.
That they're really strong because you just build tank.
Mid
So,
lane,
the DP.
burning. He pops his BKB, and it might be enough to stay alive.
He has Exo.
Okay, they're going to go ahead and drop the
Ooh,
Naga
this-
Siren ult, but cancels it very early. Might have been a misplay from Deluxe. Now he's just going to get turned on. Meanwhile, Spirit Bomb coming on Real Fake Dragons, but the Shadow Fiend cancels it as he does mistime it. OD joins the party, and now Void disabled and just obliterated. Both heroes down, lacking buybacks. And it seems that RIT might be able to get another lane of barracks.
They
off
still
this.
have Panda split too. I don't think without they can't fight without the Chrono. It's the Chrono Exo combo that's been doing all this damage. Like there's no way they fight without the Chrono.
Triple kill for
And-
Eradicate.
oh
The
my God.
Rubik gets brought down now as they dive into the base. Not even worried about structures, just focused on heroes for now. Gyro going to drop another one of these homing missiles. But the bottom tier 3 has fallen. Barracks exposed. There is a glyph for the Dire, but one of these situations where you know that quick glyph of immunity is not really going to change the state of affairs.
No.
2 key heroes down, both with ultimates available. Kind of a shame for UMass not to get one last stand at all this. But now they are going to get initiated on. Tasty Balls put up in the Yules. BKB is going to be popped. Xanthos cancels the ultimate again. Tasty Balls trying to stand his ground. DP pops the ultimate. Looks like they might get the kill on Doggy. Trying to do what they can. The BKB will keep him alive. Now Eradicate jumps back in. They're going to try to right-click down the DP now. She's standing her ground. Ritz caught by the Spirit Siphon. Out comes the Yules, but Deluxe getting low. And the Void gets one hit again by the hammer from OD. The GG gets called. And Eradicate, really the hero of this match. 24, 3, and 12. Void could not even chrono there. I mean, he had a window. He hesitated. He could have chronoed there at the very end, but I mean, hot fucking dog.
Hot dog, but I can fucking understand it. He couldn't. I mean, he had to chrono so many people to win. Is the thing. Like I can understand the hesitation. It's just hard.
It is
It's
really
just
hard.
really hard.
And I do remember in the draft we talked about comfort picks, right? And this is
Right.
a situation where you don't know the teams as well. You're going to expect some teams to pick things that they're just comfortable with. And I think Naga Siren was the literal opposite of that, where you're looking at this hero saying, hey, this hero's really good in the meta. We've got somebody who can probably handle it. She's not super complicated, but maybe not very well versed in the nuances of the Naga Siren. And she was their first pick, went 0 and 14, did 2,000 damage. I mean, the Naga was maybe not 0 impact, but pretty darn low.
The thing is, it's hard, but you can also, you don't need to. It seemed like there was some synergy issues on this team, and I don't know if that's because they need more practice together or if it's because there was just a huge amount of pressure on them in this particular game. It could be anything, you know, with teams. There's a whole lot of psychology behind it, but if they're feeling uncomfortable against this particular lineup, with these kind of synergy heroes, there's ways that you can play around that. You can have these individualistic kind of everybody does their own thing sort of heroes. Where in a fight, you know, Nightstalker goes on this hero. You don't need to do these combos because it looked like the Void and the Naga weren't on the same page. The Naga would go song, the Void would leap in to do a big chrono on the song, but then the Naga would cancel the song because the Gyro was using his spells and didn't want. So then the Void dies to the OD. He literally got one hit by the hammer like 3 fights in a row, and in 2 out of 3 of those fights, the Naga had song, and it's not on either one of them individually. It's a team synergy thing, and that could be just the psychology on the team at the current moment. They could have great synergy before this game, and it just kind of shook them. But they can draft around playing more sort of Mario heroes that kind of just do everything pretty well, you know, those sorts of heroes, as opposed to ones that need to combo together. And also, like you said, the Naga didn't seem very comfortable for them to play around. Maybe more comfort picks.
And I think it puts you in a box when you draft a team like that, where you know, okay, guys, we have to choreograph these team fights. You feel like the time isn't right to fight until everyone's ready to come together and be on the same page. And that was a game where by the time they felt ready for that, they were so far behind that they couldn't just take a fight because OD was like 3-shotting their supports and stuff. So in some ways, you need to make sure you pick heroes that you got to win. You got to do okay in the lanes first, right? That's the first checkpoint. You lose the lanes, everything else is moot, because who cares if you got a better draft in the mid game if you're so far behind that there's just that item difference. Yeah,
exactly. So they did have a really great top lane, you know, with the Gyro, Warlock, and Naga Siren. That's a very hard lane to lane against. The mid lane, though, you've Tusk SF versus DP. I'm pretty sure that's Tusk SF favored almost 100% of the time. That combo, the triple raise, there's no way DP can survive that. And you can just snowball you're not going to get siphoned, you know? So that, I mean, we saw him die so many times in that mid lane, so he didn't have kind of the snowball that you kind of want from a DP in the middle lane. And then the off lane, the Void. The Void was jungling. It was a jungle Void. I mean, he could not do a single thing against the OD, which frees up the supports, which means the Brew lane went well. The Brew was having the hardest possible game, feeding first blood. As an off laner, you're like, oh god, this isn't going to go
It's over
well.
already. Yeah.
But because that OD had such a good time in that safe lane, the Void literally left. You have a Rubik and a Tusk who are free to go kill the only saving grace lane that they had, which is the gyro lane.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, I guess they need to. It could be a pick thing, could be a comfort.
It's a best of 3, right? So we're gonna get into game 2. We'll see. Maybe UMass can switch things up and turn it around. We're gonna have a quick break, and then we are gonna come back for game number 2. I'm Zayori. He's Jenkins. We've got these beautiful chairs behind us. They're comfortable. They're smooth. They're brave. Respawn, one of the companies helping keep AVGL afloat for this season, and bringing Dota to colleges all over the United States. Respawn is leading gaming company for furniture. They make quality products at accessible price points for gamers. That's one of the problems with these chairs. You know, they're awesome, but a lot of people go, well, they're way too expensive, and that's what Respawn is trying to deal with. Get that same quality, but bring that price point down a little bit so that they're more accessible.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that they weren't $1,000 because they're just like the DX racers and stuff, right?
Yeah, they are, and they breathe well. That's what I look for in a chair. Does it breathe? You know, because you spend a lot of time in your seat. You don't want to get too sweaty, and so far
they can get stinky.
So far, so good, dude.
Yeah,
I like it.
They're not stinky chairs.
They're not.
I stole yours,
chairs.
didn't I? I'm using yours upstairs.
I think so.
That's a comfortable chair, man.
It's a good chair.
It's a good chair.
It's a good one. All right, folks. So stick with us. We're going to take a break, and then coming up next, Game 2, RIT versus UMass Boston, conclusion of this series, or the potential Game 3. Stick around and find out.
more can I take? How long before I break? You got me feeling low, you got me feeling so restless. What move should I make? So much to lose when your heart's at stake. You got me feeling low, you got me feeling so restless. I know what to do, never should have trusted someone like you.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. Game number 2 of RIT versus UMass. That's Rochester Institute of Technology and UMass, the Boston Beacons. Game number 2, game 1 for UMass, not so great. Ended up being a little bit of a one-sided match, but hey, we're here in game 2, and sometimes that's how it's happened. How it happens, you pick up those wombo combo-esque drafts, and they just don't work out. I'm Zyori, he's Jenkins, and we're back once again to see what happens here in this series.
Do you think they ban OD?
Do you ban OD? I mean, it is a difficult hero to pick against. He doesn't have a lot of traditional counters. Razor is one that kind of comes to mind, but
It's
yes. I think the short answer is yes. I don't know why you would want to fight up against that again. He just felt unstoppable last game.
that seems like a comfort pick for him. I think that hero also has kind of been slowly creeping its way into the first phase of drafts anyway. Like, don't you feel like it's getting picked a lot more in pubs as that kind of non-SF, non-quap mid laner
Yes.
that can scale like incredibly well like those heroes? I feel like the big reason that hero had fallen off tremendously in the past months was because the Nyx Assassin was like a first phase pick. But now, I mean, that hero's kind of untouched.
Mhm.
It's kind of useless compared to a lot of these new age supports for roles like Naga with the crazy meteor hammer stuff, and the Tusk who can just shard off literally the entire middle lane, and then the Treant Protector, which we're seeing a lot more in pubs, maybe less so in competitive games, but the Treant Protector with the meteor hammer, these kind of new age like finicky, silly. Oh, they actually banned the Razor. Okay, so they're gonna let the OD through, and they.
All right. So we saw Omni Knight in this first banning trio last game from RIT. So I guess not completely surprising. We were talking about how Omni maybe feels a little slow to come online in some games. It sort of depends on his lane matchup. But now UMass, they take a curveball. They go first pick Chen. So this is a guaranteed jungler now and Shadow Shaman. So obvious pushing here coming out of this team.
Yeah, looking to push, which honestly isn't that bad into an Omni Knight. Like he does struggle to deal with. I mean, he's a good fighter. He's definitely a good fighter, but he does struggle to deal with pushes if he can't fight. If he's too weak to fight into those teams, like he can't deal. He has no counter push whatsoever. Although Witch Doctor's a hero who deals very well with the Chen creeps, so I definitely think that's a pretty good pickup here. But man, God, remember DAC with the CIS teams, how they were running this Chen as that kind of dual off lane, just running the creeps at the carry sort of thing. I like that. I think that's so infuriating, so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chen still has a lot of options, right? Very versatile hero, can come online very early. It always feels to me like there's two different styles of Chen that you can play. More farm intensive, where you just sit in the jungle, work on the Midas, and just become, hey, I'm going to get this Aghanim Scepter as quickly as possible. I'm going to get whatever key item, and you just play that kind of core and have a really strong mid game. You can also play the I'm going to rotate as soon as I get a creep, and you are going to feel my presence, kind of like you're talking about, where you're almost more of a dual off laner. Sure, you have to spend a little time into the jungle, but your focus is disrupting the safe lane, maybe moving into the mid lane, and just pressuring the map and making the enemies feel like you're everywhere at once. Easier said than done. Obviously, a difficult hero to execute with, and just as quickly as he can get you ahead and sort of snowball and become this crazy pushing force, he can also fall behind and be
useless,
very manageable. Witch Doctor is great against both these supports. Channeling from Shadow Shaman and whatnot, so you have an extra interrupt bouncing around. Just a really good Witch Doctor pick. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think the Witch Doctor is really good. I mean, the thing is, like, most people run this. The kind of new age Chen is that, like you're saying, the dual offlane Chen, kind of just run with the creep. Sometimes go to the middle lane, but mostly just looking to pressure, looking to disrupt. But the Witch Doctor, the Witch Doctor does not give a single damn about these Chen creeps. I mean, the cask stuns the creeps for 5 seconds. 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. It's literally 5 times what it stuns heroes for. And with Chen, the hero is the creeps. It's kind of the sendback. The sendback is being utilized a lot better recently. People are sending back creeps for a better creep equilibrium. Sorry. And then also sending back heroes, baiting heroes, sending them back. People are using a lot better. But really, the creeps, that's always been Chen. Witch Doctor completely nullifies those creeps, and so does Doom. So, hard game for Chen.
Yeah, it's a good Doom pick. Obviously Doom 1-to-1 kind of counters everybody, but generally regarded as a good hero against Brewmaster. If you can catch Brew with a Doom, kill him before it expires, he can't get his ult off, and that is really the prowess of this hero. However, it also kind of goes the other way. If Brew catches the initiation, Doom can kind of be left in the lurch, and Shen and Shadow Shaman really aren't ideal Doom targets.
Yeah. Well, with Chen too, it does go the other way as well because you can send back the Doom target.
That's
although,
true.
Although
yeah.
the thing is, do you really want to send back a Brewmaster in a team fight?
Right.
Is that really an ideal scenario for you?
Yeah, it's like you stopped him from dying, but it's still effectively a 4v5,
Exactly,
which is what the Doom was intended
Well, he was
to do.
wanted that in the first place.
Yeah, so
you don't care about killing the Brew, you want to stop the ult.
That's a great point. No, it really does go both ways, but conventionally it feels like a pretty okay game for a Doom.
Yeah.
Now DK and Terrorblade. I think we're all familiar with the power of Terrorblade now. He's been all over the front page of Reddit thanks to the last major. If you can get to level 25, Sunder is just stupidly out of control with that reduced cooldown. So a strong hero in some regards. I think pairs very nicely with the Omni Knight because he has slot issues and loves to have that BKB buff in the repel.
Oh, yeah.
But a hero that is also very manageable. You know, Brewmaster, DK, Shadow Shaman, a ton of spammable stuns, a relatively decent amount of burst damage. I don't know that this will be a super easy game for the Terrorblade.
They have good illusion clear, too. Although, the thing with the TB is that no matter what he's countered by, as long as you have some form of disable on your team and that disabler is doing their job, Terrorblade can shred anybody in just a matter of seconds, almost more than any other hero in Dota, maybe barring Ursa. But I think TB actually versus 1v1 versus an Ursa late game, TB will crush, you know? I think the damage, he starts out doing a high amount of damage, and he keeps doing a high amount of damage no matter what. Like he scales. The ridiculous damage isn't just in the early game; it scales as well. So literally, if his team can provide him with the space, Terrorblade's a hero that can take it in terms of actually killing in those fights. Like you just need to stun for him and keep him alive, and they have the Omni to do that. So they have these really good complementary heroes. So I like TB against almost anything. Basically, that's one of the reasons I think this hero is so overpowered. If you get countered, you just play around it better. You just pick better heroes to complement it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely agree with you in that regard. And even though it probably sounds like I'm favoring this UMass draft, I think it might be a little bit easier to execute in some ways. You know, they have this pushing lineup. However, it's so timing reliant and momentum based. So it just feels, again, a little all into me. It's like either this push is going to work or it's going to backfire entirely,
Right.
and I don't know which way it'll go.
But with that being said, if they take a fight first before pushing and it goes well, good God, are they going to take down towers
That is
real
true.
quickly.
And Roche, right? Like they can
Yeah,
control
yeah.
map objectives really, really well. with this
Actually,
team.
now that I'm thinking about it, literally every hero on UMass is a godly pusher. You have Brewmaster with the split. The Green Panda gets the siege damage, right? That shreds towers. Shadow Shaman with the wards. DK with the ulti. Chem with the creeps. These heroes, oh my God, if they lose a single fight, they have Vlads, they have Serpent wards. It's going to be so hard to deal with that push, especially if Metamorphosis is down. So yeah, this is definitely looking, if you're Rochester, you're thinking, okay, maybe we need to be a little careful about fighting near our towers. You know, if we lose one of these fights, it's not going to go ideally for us in this.
Yeah, no doubt. Thinking hard about this last pick, they probably need a mid laner. I would imagine it's off lane Omni, position 4 Doom with a 5 Witch Doctor, and then of course safe lane Terrorblade. So that means they need somebody to go up against this DK and control the tempo. You know, something like Quap comes to mind. I think they could also use some lockdown and stun, like a Puck could be really good.
Quap is
A little bit of disable and a silence for the Brewmaster, but they go Night Stalker.
Well, is that
So it could be a mid Night Stalker, very unconventional, but that has happened before.
I mean, it's really good against the Brew.
Against DK, who wins that matchup? DK versus Night Stalker.
I think DK would win that because he would just reduce his base damage, and Night Stalker couldn't harass the DK at all. And then the Monkey King gets picked up. So that's presumably to lane against the Omni. Although, you know, maybe they could do an Omni mid against a DK. I feel like that would do pretty well. Omni lanes pretty well against most melee heroes. You know, so the DK, sure, he has the regen, but the Omni has the
okay.
the
So
heal buff.
Eradicate picks up the Terrorblade. He was the mid player last time.
Right, okay.
Or, sorry, the safe lane player that took the OD. Xanthus was the SF. There's no way this is a core Witch
Is
Doctor.
this a core Witch Doctor?
Is it?
Dude.
I mean, is that a thing? We always talk about core Rasta. You know, like, it could be a mid Rasta. You never know. Core Witch Doctor is even crazier.
I mean, okay, let's consider its merits. Well, it's unfortunate because they got to swap because you got to have the Witch Doctor against the Chen, right? Maybe they think that the Chen's going to sit mid the whole game, and they're just going to be, you know what? You want to come gank mid? I'm a Witch Doctor. I don't know, dude. Though I feel like the Witch Doctor should probably be support, so it could follow around the Chen creeps and just stop the Chen ganks.
That's how I feel, but I mean, Witch Doctor does scale pretty well. His Aghanims is incredible. So if you get an Aghanims by 20 minutes and you have some other core items, it can be a real devastating amount of damage.
Is it great
damage.
against the physical resist of the DK and the Monkey King ulti, though? And then the Brewer doesn't carry. He splits.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It looks like Chen's having a good time. That's good. But, wow.
Careful. Right under the tower.
Well, he's picked up wards, so it looks like they're just going to do a role swap.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. That is some...
So Doggy was playing the Tusk last time, had a pretty standout performance, and he's the one now on the Doom. So it seems like it will be a position for Doom.
And it's a carry Night Stalker.
So it's a Midnight Stalker.
Oh wait, no, that's a Midnight Stalker.
It's a Midnight Stalker with a position 1 TB.
Right, okay.
Good manners though, coming out from UMass. That's nice.
DK against Night Stalker. Honestly, I have no clue who wins that matchup. I feel like it's DK though, because he has the base damage.
DK
reduction.
definitely has some favorite there, but with the Quelling Blade and stuff, I mean, Night Stalker still. He can still get last hits, and you still have, is it the Void that you can get last hits with? It does 90 damage at level 1, 80 mana, so you can sort of spam that when you breathe fire to still make up. I'm very curious to see. I actually don't know if I've ever seen this matchup. I mean, at least not in the last couple years or something in the mid lane.
You were talking about a tempo controller. Does anybody control the tempo better than a Night Stalker who's in the mid lane? He could be anywhere.
That is true. I mean, especially around that early night cycle, he can really erupt.
Yeah, this could be crazy. Although it looks like he's got a head of Midas in his quick buy, so maybe not looking to erupt in that sort of way.
Okay, well that's great.
So, not looking to control
Erupt
the
into
tempo.
the farm.
Yeah.
So it seems they'll get some wards down. Chen drops one on the high ground. Omni Knight might have seen that. It was like right in front of him.
Where's the ward? Oh, there it is. That's an interesting ward. I guess scouting. What rotation is that? Who's that scouting?
Where?
This ward right here.
Oh.
What do you think they're looking for there? The Night Stalker rotation, so the bottom lane, I suppose, at nighttime?
Yeah, this guy right here near the Dire Secret Shop. I guess so. I think it's also just a good ward for seeing bounty rotations if you want to try to control bounty runes.
Yeah.
It just gives you a little bit more safety of like, hey, am I walking up the hill blind? Tasty Balls having a lot of trouble in the mid lane as Doom. It just comes in, gives him the fiery sword. And I guess when we were talking about who wins the matchup of DK versus Night Stalker, well, moot point, because it's Night Stalker and Doom versus DK.
Dude,
so.
I always make that mistake when I'm watching a game. It's like, oh, who's going to win this? And it's like, well, it's not that hero because there's... When is mid a 1v1? When is it ever a 1v1? It's DK versus Night Stalker, and it's not a 1v1.
Yep, and they find Ritz down bottom. Omni Knight's picked up his boots, and he's just actually going to grab a Quelling Blade now. Really just trying to leech in the trees, and the jig is up for his operation, so he's just going to head back and continue trying to leech experience. Meanwhile, Bonsai, this was the Void player from last game, now going to be on the Brewmaster. Having a slightly better time. He's just got a couple of last hits. He hasn't died yet. Doom will rotate in around from back. But, yeah, off to a better start than we saw that Faceless Void in Game 1.
God, yeah. This hero is actually pretty good against the TB in lane because you just put the mischance on the TB and he can't really do much. You know, Brew's good against any hero that just likes to sit there and like last hit. You know, Tinies, Bees.
Yeah.
Not so much Gyro because Gyro has has the magic damage. He can last it with that. He can even kill the Brew with that. But TB, TB can't really do much with it. He can't pop meta when he's got that 70% mischance on him. He's not gonna die. So Brew, knowing that, he's playing super aggressively in this game. Although he's getting gone on here. And gonna take a lot of damage from this, but I think he'll be fine.
Witch Doctor coming in just a little bit late. Doesn't find any cask bounces. I think if you get a bounce back to the Brewmaster, that's
gonna die.
Kill.
Yeah, for sure.
You need just a little bit more so that Maledict damage can stack up.
Oh, look out! Bottom lane!
This is a classic combo. The Monkey King, Shadow Shaman. Ritz does get off the heal. Burning
nice
really wants this. I don't know. Both players salved up, and he's going to have to try to jump out of here.
He doesn't have the tree jump, though. Oh, man. That would have been such a clutch play from the Omni if they ended up getting that kill. And they actually might. They might get him here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice
Fluffy
stun,
Panda is on his way in. He's got some shackles. Now he may have to pay with his own life. The Infernal Blade going to be close. Brings him down to 9 HP. Without that Tango regen, he definitely would have died. Omni Knight making sure he gets the first blood. Ritz will finish off the Fluffy Panda.
That juke was immaculate. As soon as he got out of vision, he popped the salve, knowing the Monkey King had nothing to cancel it.
It was also tight from the Omni. He was so close to dying to that combo, and he got the heal off just at the last second. Now the turn the other way, though. Doggy, he's going to try to finish off this kill. A fiery sword, but well done by Burning. He's going to move back under the tower, knowing his limits. They do finish him off.
The feeds. That was going so well. That was going so well for them in this offlane. Although, no matter what happens in this lane, it's still a Monkey King versus an Omni Knight. That is a hard lane counter. So, no matter how how interesting of jukes this Omni Knight's going to do in this lane, it's going to be hard for him just by virtue of the matchup.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the unfortunate thing, is I don't think this hero could snowball in this lane unless, barring absolute disaster from the Radiant side. It's just too hard against the Monkey King. So knowing that, he's going and picking up all the bounties. He's even picking up picks up a sentry, dewards the ward, gets 100 XP, 100 gold. He's very happy with that. Yeah. But back to kind of
looking at the mid lane though, Evadin versus Tasty Balls. It would appear that this is DK favored when it's just a 1v1. And I think that big start for the Night Stalker was really important. Down in the bottom lane, we'll see RITs get initiated on, but we've seen how this story goes. Fluffy Panda gets turned on again. That heal just does so much damage.
It does, yeah.
They won't be able to finish him off. Omni Knight, one of the few heroes that can actually handle this. Up top now, Real Fake Dragons, a.k.a. Bonsai. He is in big trouble.
Ooh, he's
the
a dead
Maledict
man.
going to finish him off. That combo devastating when the Metamorphosis is out. And TB has gone for that second point in meta, so he does hit pretty darn hard.
He's hit pretty hard.
Down bottom, RITs again. They want to try this, but they just can't quite get the timings right. Now, Shadow Shaman was nerfed a little bit in that last patch, and
A little bit of damage.
pretty slow. The damage is not even on the shackles. The damage is now way less at these early levels.
So this is one of those scenarios where the Omni is very bad against the Monkey King. But since that first engagement went so poorly for the Radiant, the Omni's capable of surviving. He's not capable of stomping this lane, but he's capable of not just feeding into this monkey. He's going to get a lot of XP. And that's he's happy
Mid
with that.
lane. Gonna see some trouble as Deluxe trying to get out of here. Will be caught by a cask, and now the Tasty Balls will be left behind. Shackle from Fluffy Panda. It does get a couple of tower attacks off, but Night Stalker, not the hero you want to be up against if you're that little Rasta Pasta. He'll get brought down. It's a twofer in the mid. Tasty Balls still alive, pretty tanky. Spamming out that Soul Ring, and actually, Doggy, did he walk right into it? No, beautiful body blocks from the Night Stalker. Evidin keeps his team alive. And now the onslaught continues. Back to farming we go. Pretty big advantage for RIT, though, in that exchange. The DK lives, but his friend's not so lucky. RIT does find a kill onto the Monkey King. I missed it, but Jenkins, how does that happen? And meanwhile, back mid, the Chen does finally get vengeance on the Night Stalker. But
buys back. All right.
wow, okay, that's a little Night Stalker rage there. But, I mean, Omni versus Monkey King, even in a 1v1, really, Omni should never get the kill there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that for that to happen, that means Monkey King must have overextended, made a misplay to allow that to be a possibility.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Omni does have level 3 in that heal now, so he does do a lot of damage. But with any rotations on this Omni, he should die.
Oh, wow. Night Stalker trying to chase down the Monkey King. He did hit him with a Void, but Monkey King was still able to jump around.
He missed the quelling. He quelling the wrong tree.
Ah, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Noble effort there for the Night Stalker, but just comes a little bit short.
Yeah, this Omni's actually going to win the lane because it's just going so well for him that the heal bomb is going to out. The thing with the Omni matchups is that you just need enough damage to out DPS the purification damage swing. And actually, that is a dead Monkey King. That is a cut tree.
Oh, there we go. And that's what you want to do. The guaranteed stun really just makes this an easy kill.
Yeah.
That is the bane to the elusive Monkey King. If you do actually cut down his tree, he just sits there.
Have you seen the Abaddon Omni matchup?
No. That sounds like one of the worst lanes ever. Let's watch Omni and Abaddon just out-heal each other.
It's boring, yeah.
Woo!
Well, that's kind of what Monkey King does, too. It's kind of out-healing. Like,
That's true with his lifesteal.
The thing with Monkey is if they're even, then Monkey can get an advantage on the Omni. But if this is happening, then you're just running basically any hero versus, although actually they are going to the bottom.
RITs down bottom. Yeah, he is level 6,
to
though.
heal.
And is he going to turn this? Drops the purification. Right clicks are coming
Ooh,
out. And
the
this
cut,
should
the
be
tree
one.
cut.
Wow, what a clutch play from RITs. He gets the stun on the Monkey King, and he's going to try to make it out. The Primal Spring falls a little bit short. RITs will get off the heal, and he is going to survive. Wow, this Omni Knight. Meanwhile, in the jungle, though, Tasty Balls trying to save his Chen. He's not going to be successful there. Now it's a 3-on-1. This Dragon trying to make it away, but Void slows him down, and they find the kill for the Witch Doctor. Doggy will die to the tower. Probably could have dropped tower aggro there and survived, but hey, happens to the best of us. It will be a little freebie going the way of UMass, which they desperately need. Maybe not getting as out of control as that last game, but right now it looks like the Dire pretty much having a good time in every single lane. DK is still winning this mid matchup in terms of farm, but now that they've killed him once, this could be the turning of the tides for this Night Stalker to regain some control.
Yeah, this it's just that these other lanes are going so well for the Tigers that they can just sit whoever the heck they want in this middle lane. It's kind of the same scenario that we found ourselves in the last game where, oh, we win 2 out of 3 lanes, but they're winning so hard, the cores can just solo these lanes, and we send the supports to the lane that's losing, and we win 3 out of 3 lanes.
Yep.
So yeah, this is, well, actually they're just opting to put the Witch Doctor mid and get some nice XP.
Yeah. Now, one thing UMass need to keep in mind is that the Brewmaster does have his ultimate now. He's level 6. Shadow Shaman still a little bit short, only level 5. We'll actually see him in some trouble down bottom. Monkey King trying to get in the right clicks, but Fluffy Panda in a lot of trouble. The Purification will secure the kill.
That's a solo, man. That was a solo kill. This Omni's going to be a problem.
That is a 2-on-1, and the 1 finds the kill.
Yeah, and he's at 30% HP running at the Monkey King.
But, I mean, doesn't this feel like the same kind of thing as last game? Oh, GA down bottom. Omni, he's just going to turn hard. He might be able to find this kill as well. The Purification, 3 points in the degen aura. Once he's on top of you, you just can't get away from him. And now Fluffy Panda's coming down. Omni Knight does not have a soul ring for 10, but the Night Stalker is going to fly over the tree line. He's going to run some circles around him, let the tower do some damage, and then Fluffy Panda will suffer an unfortunate fate as Evidin brings him down. Oh my, it looks like Doggy does get picked in the mid lane. Tasty Balls in the Elder Dragon form able to secure that kill. But these little pickoffs, they feel so minor compared to what RIT is doing around the map.
These Tasty Dragon Balls now. Yeah, I mean, that's they're just losing all the lanes. There's just some lane losing going on here. And
I mean, this game, we were talking about how strong is Omni Knight really. This shit makes Omni look broken.
It does. Well, it's honestly, Omni.
It's just not the right matchup.
Omni has played really well in this matchup too. I think. With the jukes and the. We were talking about this last night. I think this was after you went to bed, actually. Mon Knight in Dota, it's so snowbally. Like one matchup can look. That's actually
okay. They get the Night Stalker, dude. The double golems. He had the double boulder.
Bouldered him hard.
It's pretty nice. Welcome to Boulder, baby. Mud golem style.
Could have 4 of them too if they died. He enchanted a new creep.
You know the stun is exactly the same. The little baby ones.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
The little baby one's stun is incredible. Never underestimate those little golems because it's just the same stun duplicated.
If you have 4 and then they die to tower, that's 6. 6 times 125.
Dude, you're really good at math.
Thanks, dude.
It's impressive.
I didn't come up with the final number, but I don't have to because you already called me good at math.
Yeah, but
so.
you laid out the formula.
I put the numbers in front of you.
You put it down. Anybody can now type it into a calculator, and boom.
What I put down, people were picking up.
That's right.
That's exactly what's happening in that situation.
Right now, you are playing catch with everybody in the audience, and it is impressive, my friend.
Exactly.
Doom, level 6. He's got the Doom. He's got a Purge as well. Needs to be a little careful, but RIT could consider taking a fight here. Primal Spring comes down. Brewmaster actually gets soloed while we're watching this, so the Doom will fall. It's a 1-for-1 around the map, but Eradicate did kill the Brewmaster up top. Wow. Meanwhile, Deluxe trying to rotate in this Chen in a world of hurt. Omni Knight drops the heal, finds the kill there.
Oh, it's nighttime.
Burning,
Look out.
doing what little he can, but you're right. This Night Stalker ready to fly over the ravine.
Big Daddy
TP
DK's in.
on the way, or TP from the DK. Stun onto Ritz. Follow-up stun onto Ritz. He does not have a repel, but he's got stuns. He's going to pop the drums. He's on the run, and he's going to tick down. This is going to be the end of Ritz, and it gets split across the team. Now on the backside, Monkey King going ham against the Night Stalker. He will get stunned up. Another boulder toss. Would you believe it? Look at all these shards.
Look at all the shard golems.
But they're
hard.
slower than shit, so it's not really going to matter. Now Evidin's going to bump into Deluxe. Doggy's going to fall. It's a super chaotic fight. I don't think Evidin's going to live here. They lose the Witch Doctor. I'm followed on this Night Stalker right now. The all heal from Chen just kind of reset things out a little bit. And actually, this game has been leveled out. He does have a TP. He's going to fly into the tree line.
What?
What is this Night Stalker? Is he going for a courier? Is he going to buy a gem?
What? What? What is he doing? Oh, what
did he interrupt his TP by accident? Why did he do that?
No, I think he's griefing. He's rank 69. I think he's just screwing around in this game.
Oh, that's good.
He's good. He's a good player. I think he's just being a little
weird. Well, either way, look at that gold graph, and this thing is leveled out. It was up to a 3K lead for RIT, and now it is completely zeroed. In fact, it's UMass that actually have a slight advantage. We haven't really talked about Terrorblade much because he's just been farming up top. You got that, that solo kill on Brew, though. Yeah, but TB killed him.
Yeah, that's all of that farm just goes the other way.
But, however, I think Brewmaster is still getting a lot out of this, right? He's at 4K net worth.
He's farming hard.
He's farming ahead of the enemy mid, who's the Night Stalker. So, all things considered,
Night Stalker's kind of...
could be a lot worse. He's still behind the Omni Knight, though.
Kind of support at this point. I mean, this is just the Omni show, though. I mean, TB has been quiet. He's 7K net worth. He's huge. But really, in terms of fighting and such, this has been the Omni show.
Yep. Now down bottom, some bounties going to be battled over. Monkey King, he gets stunned up as he primal springs down. That was an odd sequence indeed. Now on the other side, Tasty Balls gets doomed up. Evadin trying to chase him down, so a little bit of duration on Doom, and I think he's dead. Rasta wards get deployed. That might have been a misplay. Chen creeps, throwing some Hadoukens. The Ether Shock from the low ground gets the kill on the Night Stalker. Now Chen kiting like a madman. They're going to find 3 kills here, and all of a sudden it is the University of Massachusetts. Boston. Boston. They're coming out big, dude. It's 13-13. They're in the lead. They're probably going to lose their Chen. That's okay. Night Stalker gets a freebie, but it's a small pick-me-up. I mean,
it's like a support Night Stalker at this point getting the freebie, though.
Yeah.
Who cares?
This is great. Did Night Stalker buy back again? Has he bought back twice in this game? Yes, he did buy back.
Again. He dropped his Tango. There's some BM going on in this game.
What is going on?
They're not going as hard as I thought they would. They're BMing pretty hard.
So he's got a Radiance queued up as well.
Dropping his Tango as I've been watching.
Oh, good. All right, well, Tasty Balls. He goes in a little bit too deep. I think he's actually going to live. He's got a Shadow Blade now on the DK. Maledict ticking him down, but it just tickles. A little tickler.
Dude, look how farm this DK is, actually.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Holy hell.
This DK's been slain. He's just been sitting in the lane farming.
He's been farming hard, killing.
Oh, they're going to find the Witch Doctor.
Easy pickings.
Wow.
TB's just jungling the whole time. He's like, okay, you guys want to act like
that's
goofballs. I'll be the
That's what's really scary. So this whole time I'm thinking, you know what? UMass is getting some momentum. They're knocking down some towers, but we haven't even seen RIT take a proper 5v5 fight.
Yeah.
You know, and once you have that Doom initiation, the fight's committed, TB's meta doing damage, Tasty Balls down bottom looking for an opening to defend this tower, but you know, we haven't even seen Omni just leveled up Repel. So, okay, Evadin getting initiated on. Now the Brew Split comes after Omni using the Purification. Fluffy Panda, oh, he's going to keep that Doom locked in place. Doom does survive for now. The Brewling's trying to finish him off with GA. It's there. He's not going to purge it. The Boulder Toss, they might still have enough. Doggy on the run, and Doggy gets brought down. Put to sleep. Euthanized. Now back up top.
It's dark, man.
TB is pushing. Well, he's, you know, he's appropriately dead.
That's real life, man.
That is.
Dogs get put down.
Jesus. Here we go up top. Eradicate. He's trying to finish off these towers. Still a decent amount of time
coming in hot
on meta.
Although not coming in too hot.
And he's just going to run away. Okay, does for some rotations.
He's going to keep farming.
He's going to keep farming. I mean, RIT have the late game, I think, right? Like Monkey King compared to Terrorblade, TB scales better. Monkey King probably has some peaks. You know, you can fight around items and get the better of the TB, but in a straight up who's 6-slotted.
Yeah, I think so too.
Terrorblade is just so hard for him to deal with.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think he's a high physical.
And I was just gonna say, I think Monkey King might have to get a Battle Fury to try to deal with the illusions, and he is gonna do that. But is it enough? He doesn't have the Battle Fury yet. He's just now finishing it
But
up.
the thing is, you're gonna be cleaving off of TB illusions and off of TB, who has like 20 billion armor. So, you know, it's something. He needs something. You're absolutely. He definitely needs something. But is it enough? I think probably not. No, it won't make him scale as hard as the TB, especially if he dies right here.
Oh, burning. He's going to turn it, and Evadin actually dies. Eradicate with a Sunder. He'll survive, and now Doggy on the way. He wants to bring down Burning, and it looks like he will. The Infernal Blade is going to be enough. Now on the backside, TB getting chased down by Bonsai, but is Bonsai going in too far? I say nay. He's got teammates inbound, and they'll bring him down. Deluxe finds a bit of vengeance. Looks like a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that's some revenge. And I mean, dude, this Night Stalker is just.
But Doom's still here. He dropped the Doom, and now he's on the run.
He's just waltzing away.
I think Doggy's good.
There was some like backline shenanigans going on between the Doom and the Shadow Shaman. This Night Stalker, every time I look at his position on the chart, it's like one lower.
Yeah.
Every time. because he's buying back and he's dying first in these engagements.
And now he's like buying wards. He's actually transitioned into support.
That is.
And I guess this Doom is going to start turning into more of a core role. He does have a drum pretty much finished up, just needs that courier, and he'll be able to deliver it to himself. So Doom will start to come online a bit more, and Night Stalker will continue to play more of a supportive nature. Meanwhile, in the top lane,
here's the push we talked about.
DK and Chen, baby, bringing down that tier 1 up top. So now 3 tier 1 towers down on the side of RIT.
They pinged the next one too, so it looks like they wanna keep pushing. Does Brew have ulti? He does have ulti. He has a soul ring coming up soon.
Oh no, not the fluffy panda, guys. Come on, he's had enough problems already. He does get off the hex as Doom tries to give him the fiery sword, but burn you will, little Rasta.
Oh, that Doom Infernal Blade with the Maledict. That's got to be so good. It's like both kind of
2 sources of damage.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude. They're percentage based.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
you know,
good.
you got the Doom to get the first ticks on the Maledict. All of a sudden, Maledict's gonna hit, harder, and no matter what, no matter how much HP somebody has, because the Ross is actually pretty tanky.
It's a pretty dang combo.
He's got 1,000 HP right now. That's not that. That's full HP.
They do finish off the tier 1. Why did I say tier 1? The tier 2 in the top lane.
Well, they did finish off the tier 1.
And also the
And
tier,
the tier
1. DK, he's actually going for a Maelstrom. This is kind of a cool build. Shadowblade Drums Maelstrom. So
I guess to deal with the TB illusions.
yeah, definitely going for some clear. You need some kind of initiation tool on DK, whether it's a Shadowblade or a Blink Dagger. You need something. So that one makes a little more sense. He probably won't really upgrade it. I doubt we'll see a Silver Edge anytime soon until slots become an issue.
Yeah, eventually, but it'll be late. Yeah, I think the Maelstrom's pretty good. Although I do think that this hero can pretty effectively deal with the TB illusions because you slow them all. So it's good for that reason. And DK's tanky enough to 1v1. Oh, that is DK going on a... Oh, he's doomed.
Yeah, he's going to get doomed. And there you go. Maledict sets it up. And, he's very good against the power of the Death Ward, but they've just got so much follow-up damage that he's guaranteed to die. Now Shadow Shaman uses the wards. Speaking of physical, GA comes down, and now Terrorblade's just going to turn it on, obliterates the Chen, even fighting within vicinity of the wards. RIT pretty happy with this. Bruce split used on top of it, so it's a pretty successful fight. It's a 2-for-0. A couple cooldowns get exchanged, but it's a 1,500 net worth swing, and once again levels things out.
God, we saw that Doom plus Maledict combo there. The DK, who we were thinking like, oh, this guy's so farm. He's so tanky. He took a 450 damage second tick of Maledict. The second tick was 458 damage.
That's pretty nasty. It's a level 3 Maledict also.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. It's not even max Infernal Blade either. He maxed the Devour. He's being real greedy this game.
Yeah, I guess also added incentive against the Chen. Devour scales pretty well with the cooldown.
Oh, true that.
So.
Oh, look at the Chen. The Chen had went from none into Penitence.
Really?
That's something that we see a lot of Chens picking up nowadays, just slowing people in the offlane damage. Like, it's pretty pretty good.
30. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the reasons I think people have started picking this hero up again, because you can leave 1 point in it, and it's still very useful for
It's
the
great for 1
slow.
point. Like, yeah, you get that bonus damage, that's whatever. It's only 70 mana. It's a very spammable spell in that regard.
Right. He's going for, like, kind of the classic Chen build.
Agreed. I'm a little surprised to
Which is
not see that.
A little more useless. The classic Chen build. I think that's
Wow.
not one of the Chen builds we see a lot these days.
And look at this Night Stalker build. It's Battle Fury.
Well,
So Battle Fury Night Stalker is going to become a reality. I don't know about the efficacy of it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Brewmaster initiated on all heal from Chen. Might actually be enough to keep him alive. Last tick from Maledict going to be close. Never mind.
that damage.
Too much damage.
Did he have split? No, split. 8 seconds.
Yep.
That's gotta suck.
Split was just coming up.
That's
so
gotta suck. Every time you die in brew like that,
unfortunate.
you're like, oh, I'm not doing that again until I've split.
Yeah, these little kills, though, are starting to add up. Look at that gold graph. A 3K favor for the Dire, then a 3K favor for the Radiant, and now we are back even and actually a little bit favored
Ooh,
for
Chen's
the Dire.
dead.
Yeah, Chen initiated on the Infernal Blade, locking him in place, and now the cast bouncing around, so they'll even be able to clean up
creeps,
all
man.
these creeps.
Look at all the shards.
Just bringing money to the lane and probably transition this into a tier 1 tower push. It's very low on HP already, and they are going to hang around to make sure it gets turned to rubble. Omni,
what is going on with that courier?
yeah, Omni Knight's going to be the one to pick up the Radiance. Now, remember, we had the Night Stalker with it queued up. He went Midas, Drum, Radiance.
That is a scary Omni Knight. He is the second net worth now. I did not foresee this happening with an Omni versus Monkey King Rasta lane. That is a deadly lane, but Boy, with those jukes that he put on, he put on a clinic in
Dude,
that lane.
it makes me want to play Omni Knight. You know, just queue it up and run around.
No, it doesn't. Don't say that. Don't you dare say that.
How dare you? So some items coming out though. Pressing that F5 gives us a good overview. I think the scariest to note is really the TB. Not only does he have Manta, but he's got a BKB on the way for the Radiant. It's pretty much Blink on Brewmaster, Blink coming on the Shaman.
Omni just becomes Radiance too.
Yeah, and now a Maelstrom on the DK. I mean, they've got okay items, but it's just
Chen.
not enough. Chen, again, just gets caught in his own jungle. They're being so aggressive with
Hey,
the
remember
positioning.
what you were saying about sometimes Chen falling short?
Yep, and look, they doom the Monkey King as he tries to jump away. It's going to be an easy pickup. A double for Doggy. He's showing him how to do it doggy style in the mid lane.
This, the Omni Knight Radiance timing is so
Yep.
strong.
Oh, look
that
at this Witch Doctor cast. How beautiful. They dust in Tasty Balls. Not going to be able to make it away. There's going to be a split on the Brew, but it won't save the Dragon. And even if Brew does live through this,
they're killing the pandas.
it's a defensive split. And hey, meanwhile in the bottom lane,
Where's the green boy? There
that's
he
a split pushing Night Stalker using this Battle Fury really to strong efficacy to just tank this tower, kill creeps. Bonsai's going to come down, but Evadin knows, hey, he doesn't have a split. You can't scare me, brah. And Eradicate now. That's about 50 duration left on Metamorphosis. Dude, this game was even for a while, but now that we're getting into
Just
it,
like
it is just
that.
falling apart so quickly.
I mean, you know what it is?
Elena Barracks.
The Omni Knight Radiance timing. It's honestly so hard to fight into an Omni Knight when he picks that item up early. In 24 minutes, yeah, that's a pretty good timing.
Oh, the cask. Oh, God, that's painful to watch. Deluxe trying to make it back to the
they're
high
gonna
ground,
dive.
and he will, but Omni pops the GA, and he is hungry. He's got the sandwich, and you are looking for it. He gets stunned. They might be able to bring down Ritz, and Ritz oversteps his bounds. That's a little bit of a freebie, but
It's about 900 gold that they got.
damage has been done. It's 25 to 18, about a 13,000 net worth lead, and we're going to see Tasty Balls come out of the base.
Oh,
and
Tasty
maybe
Balls
look
can
for a
kill
pickoff.
Whip Doctor.
Come
for
on,
sure.
show him your jubblies. Show him your jubblies. And Witch Doctor lives.
Well.
Okay, well, that's a heartbreaker. Now he turns, gives him the Maledict. Doggy misses the stun. This is Benny Hill theme coming to mind here.
Oh, those
Witch
balls are looking
Doctor.
tastier.
Oh, he gets the Maelstrom proc. Okay, well, it was a noble effort. Some fancy footwork from the Witch Doctor will not be enough to save him from the likes of the delicious testicles.
Balls weren't tasty enough. Well, that was an interesting engagement.
It
I don't think
certainly
it.
was.
I don't think it does much for them. That's an 11K network bleed now.
You know, doesn't it?
Jeez.
I felt like last game for RIT, what could have made that high ground push that they kind of lost a little bit easier is if they had just stopped and gotten Roche. Feels like another game like this for me where it's like, you know, you guys are really far ahead. You've got the map control. This might be the time to stop off for Roche and then just keep this death ball going.
You're definitely right. You're 100%.
Well, Doggy goes in
Ah,
solo.
look at-
Evadin on the way. It's a 5v2 right now. And they're just going to walk away. I mean, it's no big deal.
Can they do it? Oh, the drum pop. DK form. He's invisible.
And they don't have detection. Oh, they've got a sentry.
Down, but Doggy's being real aggressive.
He is one sneaky snake on the backside. Evadin caught by the Monkey King. It's going to be the end of the Night
Ooh, that
Stalker.
Chen damage. Good God.
Whoa.
He evaporated.
Whoa, that was a test
Anyway,
of faith, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're saying,
Big boy.
that was a big word. I think that was a 400 proc.
But whoa, they go into Roche.
They go for Rush.
Okay, well,
Maybe that's why they should have taken it.
I do really like this play from UMass, though, right? It's like you got to do something. This feels very risky, but with one down, this is probably the best shot you're going to get.
They have vision of it, though. RIT knows that they're rushing, right? Or did they smoke it?
They did not smoke in, I don't think. RIT have a ward right here up on the high ground, so they did indeed see them walk in. It looks like they're just letting it go.
They don't want to fight without their Battle Fury Night Stalker.
They also don't have Doom. Remember, Doggy used
Oh,
it in
true
that
that,
last
true
little
that.
fight. They
Right.
might not have had Meta. Meta is up now, and they're going to start walking in, and oh gosh, are they going to take this? This is going to be perfect timing. Oh, Burning still gets the Aegis, but now the Cavalry's arrived. BKB gets popped by Eradicate. Look at them. They just drop with little
my
meatballs.
God.
Tasty Balls trying to run out. Aegis was picked up by the Monkey King. He's going to come back to life. You blink your eye, you probably missed him dying.
He's dead twice. Nobody survives a friggin' TB army.
Buyback now on the Chen. They've got plenty of time on meta, and they're just going to move this to the mid lane and finish off this tier 2 and maybe even try to go high ground with 2 dead.
Without DK form, I don't think they can even fight into meta. It's just impossible.
Yeah, 25 seconds on that. They do have Brew ult, also a
Brew split.
buyback available on the roster.
He's going in.
No choice here. All the buybacks used are going in on the Doggy, but
Oh,
the GA
GA
comes out. Doggy's still alive. They finally bring down Doom with magic damage. The Primal Split comes, and TB is just bringing him down. He's almost got the Earth Panda dead, but now the cast, it's going to bring Burning Low. He's locked in place, and they'll finish him off. With the Monkey King down, this fight could turn ugly for UMass. Rasta drops the wards outside of the base.
Sunder.
They're just going to tank right through it. Eradicate uses the Sunder. He's putting a lot of damage onto Bonsai now. He's back in Panda form. One more auto attack, and they'll be able to bring him down, but he's actually still alive. Tasty Ball is repelling the back line.
Nice
the Dire in completely different positions right now. Maledict does connect on the from the Witch Doctor. Tasty Ball gets reinitiated on an Eradicate. Will pay with his life. Deluxe brings him down, but now the Chen nowhere to go. No support system. He is donezo. It's going to be a buyback for the Holy Man on the horse. They just need to find him. Body box in the trees. Okay, a little bit of a squisher there at the end, but just like last game, right? Sloppy from RIT, but economic damage done. They get a tier 2. Rasta buys back. Monkey King buys back. And the Brewmaster buys back. Kind of doesn't matter if you don't end the game there because you just crippled it.
It's kind of I feel like they were kind of crippled from the laning stage in both games. Like, these fights are actually not going too bad for them, but they just don't have the same net worth. They don't have the same items. They don't have the same levels.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I feel like these games would be a lot more even. I mean, this is kind of a blanket statement. But if they had a better laning phase, I'm not seeing much outskilling happening outside of the laning phase. It just seems like they're running over them with the items. And sure, maybe if it was even, they would outskill them because they'd have more opportunity to.
Yeah, but I think your point is right. It feels like both games UMass picked lineups that were not very lane focused. They were focused on, hey, we're going to be able to push, or hey, we're going to be able to have great team fight in the mid game, or whatever the strategy is. It seems like they need to just put a little bit more emphasis on making sure their lanes are strong. And that is one of the issues. First pick Chen, if you're the other team, you know, okay, they've got somebody who's going to be in the jungle and will be a little bit rigid in terms of his ability to flexibly move around and support the lanes. You know, you can take a Naga or a Night Stalker and just plant them in the mid lane at level 1 and just say, well, is your Chen going to come help? Okay, even if he does, that's still a win because we know where he is.
Yeah,
you know, it's a hero that you can play around.
You basically just mirror the Chen's movement. I mean, yeah, I agree. I think a little more emphasis on the laning phase.
But it's good to see, right? Because now that they've gotten out the laning phase, it's not like they're just getting run over, right? Like UMass they're still coordinating ganks, they're still putting up some kills, and RIT are playing far from perfect, right? Once they get ahead, they have trouble maintaining that advantage without overcommitting. Look at this, though. We talked about the core Witch Doctor. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. This is a very rare build you'll see in competitive. Glimmer Cape into Aghanims because often Witch Doctor is just that busted, broke position 5 that can't afford it.
Yeah.
But down bottom, Bonsai doomed, just destroyed. Omni Knight on top of him. There's really just no way to get away from these two.
He dropped his drums.
These two heroes. Is that for mana boots? No, I don't know what that was.
There's some shenanigans.
Just a party. Okay.
Just a party hard.
Well, now going back in and burning. He's trying to stand his ground, but Monkey King taking a lot of damage here. GA is ready, and he has no plan for Exodus. That's a dieback on the Monkey King. No buyback available. It is a 5v3. Brewmaster does have it. He'll use it now. Tasty Balls with the BKB on. It just doesn't matter. The Death Ward bouncing around, doing a lot. Rasta Wards also come, but TB with the illusions. He's just going to start to clear them out. This looks like it could be the beginning of the end. Brew has split. It's already about a half duration. The two cores down, DK and Monkey King will have no way to come back to life here except for that natural timer. There is a tier 2 in the top lane, so no megas will come. But if RIT get a few more kills here, they might be able to just throne it off of this push. Honestly, TB pushes so fast. Brewmaster comes back in, takes huge damage as they initiate. One cask is all it takes. He'll fall. On the other side, the Fluffy Panda gets brought down, and just like that, it's a 5v1, and I don't think Chen will be able to make the defense.
He can do it. He can do it. He can't do it.
Brutal.
He can't do it.
And that's the 5-man wipe. Affirmative. Good game, and that should be it. 40-22. RIT, the Rochester Institute of Technology, take this series 2-0 over UMass. Pretty convincing win, really, in both games.
Yep, it seems like they took a laning advantage that I honestly think, at least in this game, it was fairly an outskill in the laning phase. And then they took that advantage, and I mean, like you said, they did a lot of sloppy stuff with it. That might be just by virtue of the fact that they were so sure that they had won that they're just like, let's just end, just run at them.
I mean, honestly, we've all been in that place, whether it be pub or semi-pro scrims or whatever it is, where when the off lane shuts down a safe lane carry, it just completely inverts the game. When you're on the team where it's like, hey, our solo offlaner is getting kills when he's being ganked 1v2, it just lets you play with this kind of confidence that isn't there in most games.
It's almost not the same game of Dota.
Right. You're like, guys, we're playing 4v3 everywhere else because he's actually winning 1v2.
Yeah,
we're good.
That should not happen.
Yeah.
The only situations in which that should happen is if you get completely outdrafted and you have like an Enchantress versus some Rubik Ogre plus.
Right.
I don't know, terribly. Some heroes that really can't deal with an Enchantress very well. But in this game, it was Monkey King versus an Omni, and the Rasta was with him. So like they should have been able to kill this Omni over and over. He should have to play so defensively. You pick in Dota, you usually pick to have one guaranteed one lane, one kind of toss up, and then you say, all right, buddy, good luck. You throw somebody to the wolves, right? The Omni was thrown to the wolves, and he killed the wolves.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's also telling of how important those first gank attempts are. Because that first one, Omni was on like 3 HP. He barely survives the shackles.
It's all
gets
about
off the
those.
purification, and then he survives that.
He
whole
does the
gank.
salve too. As soon as he gets out of the vision, he does the salve so that they keep diving, think he's one hit away,
dude.
and then they turn, almost
It's
kill the
insane.
monkey, kill the Shadow Shaman.
It makes such an insane difference because if it goes the other way, Omni falls a little bit behind. They have the damage.
There's
to
no
just
comeback. Yeah.
bully him out of the
Exactly.
lane. When he does that, they come back and it's like, hey guys, we're all the same level. So you group up on me and I'm just going to heal. And all of a sudden I'm not only healing myself, but returning more damage than you just did to me. Like the math starts to compound.
Right,
with that,
exactly.
I heal and do damage at the same time. And
Exactly. It's all kind of a formula. Like you have the Monkey King who has the Jingu. If you have level 2 Jingu, Omni only has level 2 heal. The Monkey King's going to do better. If you have level 2 in the crit, well, you can do a little bit more damage before he gets a second heal off. But if you get 2 or 3 kills on the lane as an Omni Knight, you don't care about any of that. The math is just going to work in your favor regardless of what the typical matchup would be.
A tough series for UMass Boston fans, but cool that we got to see a best of 3, and still they got to show some of their prowess in a few of those team fights. I think Tasty Balls had a pretty good performance that game on the DK.
He was doing pretty good,
Tough game in general, and until it really started falling apart, he was farming really well. He was making rotations. He was setting up kills. It's hard to do that
I think
in games that fall apart so quickly.
Yeah, I think if a game is falling apart like that, what you need to do is take a lot more smokes. Like one single smoke rotation can turn the game to the point where it's even again. And then all of a sudden Tasty Balls playing so well is not just Tasty Balls trying to salvage his team's game. It's like there's other people that are doing well as well.
It's true.
But there was really no smoke rotations in either of the games that we saw other than smoking back to the lane.
It's a really good point, though. And sometimes, like, we've seen, especially in CIS, it feels like. I always think of Virtus Pro with this, where they get wiped, they respawn, they smoke immediately. And the idea is they would never expect us to smoke right now. They just took Roche. They have Aegis.
Right.
We're the ones on the defensive. If you shift that paradigm, you catch one or you kill the Aegis. It's like, okay, that whole advantage they got just started to evaporate a little bit because of that one rotation. So I agree with you.
Exactly. And you can force that. Like that's the intent of that is like, well, we're not just going to get starved here. You don't want to just get starved out because they take a certain amount of map control. They take a lead. That if you take a fight that the positioning is equal, that all things are equivalent. You have the same people, 3 people versus 3, small skirmish. If it's even, you're going to lose if they have a net worth lead, right? Unless there's some crazy item timing. So what do? You smoke.
Yeah.
You force that, especially in situations where they're not expecting it. They just took Roche. You go smoke. Try to pick them off while they're splitting. Like there's so many ways that you can do it, but it all involves smoke rotations basically.
Yeah, introducing a little bit of chaos.
Exactly. Throw chaos into the mix.
Well, there you go. So another series down for this season of AVGL. Again, thank you so much for joining us, folks. I'm Zayori. He's Jenkins, and of course, a shout out to the folks that make these chairs. Respawn. Not only are these great products, but they are supporting a great tournament that is bringing Dota to more colleges around the country. If you want to check out Respawn, it is Respawn Products, all spelled completely normal, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can visit their website as well, respawnproducts.com. It's so important, if you enjoy this sort of content, to support the sponsors that help make it possible. And on top of that, they make a pretty damn good product at a price point that most of us can afford. So big shout out to those guys, and of course the dudes at AVGL for including us in this coverage. It's been a lot of fun so far, and there is still a lot more to come. Not today. We're done for now. We're going to be coming back on Friday for more of this AVGL action. Until then, we will see you guys next time.